this season could have been its own like 10, about 10 episodes. And for the first time in a while, it feels like I wish the season could have gone on longer. What is up, you guys? Dallas with that. Did you see that episode? There was a lot going on. I tried to take as good of notes as I could, but let's go ahead and just run through this. The episode starts off with Doris giving birth, and did I miss a time jump or something? Because it seems like very sudden. And then the next thing you know, Harry is at the hospital giving all the help he can and apparently trying to hold back from biting that umbilical cord, it looked like. But he holds off long enough to go and take the surgical gauze from her delivery, wring it out like it was a sweaty gym shirt into some cups, and then just drink it like it was some Georgia peach sweet tea. It was fucking gross. But hey, welcome back to present day on American Horror Story. Mickey comes to town after I don't even know how long had passed since everything had happened, and he took the pills, started writing. He came back pretty quick. He's got nice clothes, good chain. He's got the Mach 5 from Speed Racer, or the closest iteration to it. We see Alma is an awful big sister. She's already drinking from her little brother, and Doris actually catches her. This is where the title Gaslight comes into play. We find out Ursula lies to her, makes her think that it was something that she was just seeing, and like in a dream. And not only that, but then Harry comes in, tries the same shit, and then Alma, of all people, decides to be honest with her and lets her know about the pill to an extent. My notes were, here's Alma with the honesty play. She passes to Doris, but it's no good. The sick part is she wants her to take it because she knows what's going to happen to her. She knows that it's not going to go well. Karen has a conscience with a K, but Belle's a bitch with a capital B. She makes her go after the gardener's new son. And then we see more gaslighting when Holden is reading Doris for fucking filth, taking over her project more or less. And it even looked like Harry was laughing along, but he makes her go back to bed, go feed the baby, nothing's wrong. Very just fucked up. The whole episode was just fucked up to Doris. And then we see Karen wanting to take the baby and instead raise it herself. Either way, her acting in that whole scene was great. I was totally buying her pleading with Mickey the entire time to help her. And then Alma comes in acting like she's interested in the baby. What's his name? I'm so into that name. You're so funny. This whole time it was like, just back up. She looked like a dog waiting for a treat. And then she sounded like a little And then Doris, she winds up taking it. Alma talks her into it. This is how sick this girl is. And she was good at being a sociopath. When they moved to town, she hadn't had the pill. I feel like that's her talent. She just happened to be good at the violin, but her real talent is being a sociopath. She straight up talks her mom into taking the pill. Doris does it, and then we see the repercussions of that when she can't do her interior design. Felt like that was a given. That was always going to happen. I'm hoping that her actual ending, because we still have one episode, I'm hoping that her actual story conclusion is going to be something that will make up for how obvious it's played out so far. I've been talking with Mark from Real Talk. He has a good theory that Lyme disease is going to be the cure, and that's the big crux for everything. I don't know how much that would play into the chemist's research and everything like that from there, but we're almost at the end of this season, so to speak, and I feel like it's the furthest chronologically that we might get. So I'm hoping we can get as much of a conclusion as we can, and there's no telling what's coming in the future. We see Mickey. He actually makes Karen take the pill. When she did that, I thought she had the baby on her, but she was actually just saving her own skin, and I don't blame her, but that was fucking cold-blooded of Mickey to just leave her there. Doris, I was for sure she was going to eat her kid, and then Harry comes up and just so happened to save it in time. And then we see that Ursula and Alma are in cahoots, and honestly, we need their Thelma and Louise spin-off. We almost got it at the end of the episode, but I feel like they might get kidnapped by going to the chemist's place. Karen's fiending. Mickey's about to be her fix was the note I had, and I've been saying that since maybe before the season aired that Karen was going to be killing Mickey. I just thought it would happen a lot sooner, so I'm happy they held off as long as they could. Harry fucking admitting that he had outgrown Doris, just and I felt like she understood him in that moment. She had a look on her face that was, she connected with him, but it was just sick. It was sad. And then he releases her like a dog in the wild. He just gives her a good coat and sends her on her way. And then Karen, we see her, she feeds finally, begrudgingly, and she finds some food that Mickey had said, you know, we'll find you a good meal or something worthwhile or something like that. It's something that maybe deserves it. And she does find something that deserves it in her eyes, and it winds up being Mickey. She tears out his throat, she makes her masterpiece, and then she just runs a red river up both of her forearms. It was unfortunate, but she went out on her own terms. That's probably as much as she could have hoped for at this point. She already thought she was going to hell, so. Alma and Ursula in her please sir, could I have some more moment. That shit was great. They're on the way to the chemist's house. There's no telling how that's going to turn out yet, but it's probably not going to go well. And then they find Doris in the cemetery just munching on some unfortunate creature, and they give her a nice moment of like, you can't sit with us. And that's the end of the episode. And we see next week. It looks like it's going to be as much chaos as possible. We see the new police chief, or whatever role she is just really calling into question everything that's going on. All these people dying, bodies washing up on shore. I'm glad somebody's finally calling it unusual, because that doesn't seem to be the norm. I don't care who was the police chief and for how long. Speaking of which, we never heard what happened to the chief before Burleson, and honestly, nobody seemed to really react to her. That was another point that Mark had brought up, and I agree. I feel like they just didn't have time, and for the first time in a while, it feels like I wish the season could have gone on longer. Not even just the fact that we're going to have Death Valley that's connecting to this, but I feel like this season could have been its own like 10, maybe about 10 episodes that we see the next week. Hopefully the town's going to be getting attacked. Hopefully. Let me know what you guys are excited for. We're going to be getting Death Valley the week after that, and finally get our alien half of the season. Let me know what you guys think. Drop your thoughts, theories, and queries below. Have a good rest of your day.